This is just my personal experience with having back pain for many, many years. Specific back pain, obviously back pain is different for every person. So go see a doctor, go see a physical therapist. Don't just listen to a random YouTuber. But I thought I would share since a lot of people still have pain after going to see a doctor, going to see a physical therapist. So yeah, here we go. I've had back pain for well over 10 years. It started with just soreness, tightness in my low back. I want to say fairly soon after I started exercising, after I started doing the Kathy Smith DVDs with some little, dumbbells and then moving up from there. And then eventually I was doing a puzzle, I remember, and I went to bend over to the top of the puzzle to put a piece down, and it just felt like my low back was ripping. I remember I fell backwards on the couch and I was crying, and I just was oh no, I broke my back, right? It's just broken now. Of course I didn't break my back, but it hurt, and it hurt for a good week or so, and I was hunched when I'd walk, and bending down or even squatting down really hurt. And so I basically had that sort of thing for years after that. Almost constant tightness, soreness, mixed in with that sort of ripping sensation when I would usually do some sort of prolonged bending over, especially sitting and bending over. I remember I was moving, I was packing stuff to move, and I was sitting on the floor and picking stuff up and leaning forward and putting it into a box, and it happened then. It happened once with deadlifting, and that's when my back would be really painful for, again, a week or so, and I would have to just do nothing. I tried lots of things. I tried Pilates, I tried yoga, I tried walking a little more, I tried not walking because it hurt when I walked. I tried just laying down all day. Don't recommend that. Eventually, I kind of accepted the idea that some have, that it's kind of all in our heads, that there's no physical cause to the pain, which was really depressing. And then last year, my pain just got so bad, and I just kept hurting myself more and more frequently, that I just stopped doing everything. I stopped doing any sort of exercise, any kind of cardio or weight training or anything, and I started just stretching. I followed a popular yoga YouTube person and started doing their very easy, relaxing stretches. No, what's it called? Camel, where you're bending back and touching your toe. Nothing like that, just simple knees to chest and child's pose, down dog, things that felt really good on my back. And it seemed great at first. I mean, while I was doing it, it felt good. For several minutes after, my back felt so good and loose and no pain. But after 5, 10, 15 minutes max, the pain would come back. After a couple weeks of that, I think that's as long as I did it, just 2 weeks, the pain was even worse than it was before I had started. It started to hurt upon getting up in the morning, whereas usually I wouldn't have pain when I would get up. That's when I would feel kind of the best. It was the end of the day when I would feel really bad. But after doing this stretching, 30 to 40 minutes a day of stretching, I started having pain upon waking up. So after that, this would have been last fall, September or so, I made essentially 3 big decisions. Number 1, no stretching, no yoga, nothing to do with low back stretching. If I want to stretch upper body, whatever, fine, but no more yoga. Number 2, lots of walking. And number 3, which really goes along with number 2, going back to the back guy or the spine guy, Dr. Stuart McGill. I had read his first book, I think it was, years before, which is really more of a textbook. It's not really for the average person like me. It's got a lot of medical jargon in it. It's a pretty hard read, honestly. So I got his newer book, which is for the average person, and started following his guidelines. He argues that your pain is not in your head, that there is a physical cause, usually bad movement patterns. So sitting all day, doing bad exercises like sit-ups and Supermans. I had done his 3 big exercises. He has his special crunch, bird dog, and what's the other one? Side plank. I had done those when I initially read his kind of textbook, but I hadn't stopped doing my other regular exercise, and I didn't start walking more. Walking is a huge part of recovery. It's a huge part of his program. I think he recommends an hour to like an hour and a half a day of brisk walking. So this time, that's what I did. I actually followed the program. I walked 30 to 45 minutes morning and night, and then I did the big 3 exercises almost every day. And again, I already wasn't working out, and I stopped stretching, other than some cat-cow in the morning, which is allowed. Soon after, I switched the exercise portion to Back Forever program. I think it's backforever.com. It's $9.99 a month. Basically follows the Stuart McGill approach, right? There's no sit-ups, there's focus on neutral spine, no pressing your back into the floor, nothing like that. But it's more of a step-by-step kind of approach, kind of holding your hand. There's more, it's not just here, do these exercises every day, day in and day out, which I just can't. I get so bored. There's a reason why I can't stick with any sort of exercise routine. I just get so bored. So I needed something with more stuff, and they have like more safe exercises, that sort of thing. So at first, the walking did not feel great. I'm not gonna lie, it did not feel good. Like I said before, I often struggled with walking. I found that my back would get really, really tight while I was walking, even though I always heard, walk more, it's good for your back, recovery, all of that. Well, it feels bad though. But after a few days, it was so much better. It was like 50% better. After a month, my pain was basically gone. I felt like a different person. I could actually flex my spine or posteriorly, how do you say that? Posteriorly tilt my pelvis without pain, which I had not been able to do in years. That was actually how I would test how bad the pain was. Like when I could barely do it. Oh God, yeah, it's bad today. 2 or 3 months later, still no pain, just feeling so great. So I decided to start exercising again, slowly getting back into exercising, but completely avoiding certain movements that I knew had bothered me in the past, like deadlifts. Eventually I was able to deadlift again. Now I don't even use a barbell. I'm using dumbbells. I'm not using super duper heavy weights, not like I did when I was in my mid-20s, but I am using heavier dumbbells than I was using prior to fixing my back. So I'm using heavier than when I had back pain, and I have no back pain. Point is, it's been almost a year and I do everything that I did before, well, minus the certain stretching and stuff like that, but in terms of weight training, high impact cardio, jumping around, all that sort of stuff, I'm doing it, but without pain. Likely because one, walking. I walk so much more. I don't do the morning and night like I did before. I am getting back into walking every morning because I found that slowly but surely I'm like cutting corners on my walking, stuff like that. So I'm getting back into the routine, getting up early so I can walk 30 minutes or so. But yeah, I aim for 10,000 steps a day. That seems to really work for me. Number 2, no yoga. I say yoga, but again, it's like certain specific stretches. Any of the stretches that feel really good on my back, basically, I don't do. And I actually tested this very recently, just a few weeks ago. I started doing my favorite stretches, like knees to chest and child's pose, all those sorts of things again. And after about a week, my back started feeling tight again. So yeah, that just, no yoga, no Pilates, any of that shit. Number 3, I have a 10-minute back routine that I do about 4 times a week. When I started doing this, I would do it again almost every single day. Now I do it about 4 times a week. It's based off of the Back Forever program. It's moves I know are safe for my back, that feel good, and also some glute activation exercises that I like. I always do it at the beginning of a workout because then I'll do it. If I wait till after I've worked out for like 45 minutes, an hour, no, there's no way I'm going to do it. I'm going to forget. And number 4, and this one really goes back to the no stretching and to the back routine as well. This cannot be stressed enough, I think. No pressing your low back into the floor, or imprinting, I think is what it's called in Pilates. This is popularized by Pilates. You see it in yoga as well. And it's really just bled out into kind of all forms of fitness. Anytime you see some sort of ab exercise, like instructions or anyone talking about it, you will always see or hear press your low back into the floor. You can still work your core without doing this. It's just not worth the risk, especially if you already have back pain. Again, this is all just my experience. This comes from a lot of trial and error. I've done basically all of these things with poor results because I did them kind of separately, or I was still doing harmful things, right? So like when we lived downtown, we walked a whole lot and my back was terrible. And like I said, it was like, what, they say walking's so great, but my back sucks right now. Well, I was doing a lot of stretching. I would do stretching several times a day because, again, for those few minutes, it felt really good. I didn't know that it was actually bad, that it was actually contributing to the pain or making it worse. I'm not going to say I never have pain anymore. I do occasionally, but I always know why. I can always pinpoint, oh, I walked like 2,000 steps in the last 3 days. I was laying on the couch playing Stardew Valley for 3 days. Yeah, could be why. Or I didn't do my back routine for the last week, something like that. And the good thing is pain doesn't last like it used to. I've had times where my back felt tight and then a few hours later it was totally fine, which is crazy. Never experienced that before. But now even when it's like fairly tight, it's like gone the next day. What? Now I just get injured everywhere else. Again, if you do have pain, go see a doctor. I'm hesitant to say that. I mean, that's the reason I wanted to make this, again, because I've read people say that they've had success with yoga, Pilates, whatever. So obviously there's just different things that work for different people. But also doctors and a lot of physical therapists don't really seem to have the answer for this either. A lot of doctors will just give you like a steroid shot, which is definitely not the answer. It might make you feel better. And then physical therapists, some of them are recommending the very exercises that just, how is that even helpful? Clearly, there's so much risk there in terms of the compression, the spinal compression. I mean, Supermans are still fairly popular. They're still recommended because you want a strong back. That's why you have pain, because you have weakness. Well, I used to do a lot of core exercises. I definitely did not have a weak core or a weak back, and I had a lot of pain. That's the same thing Stuart McGill says. A lot of the people he works with, they are not weak by any means in their core. I think this is one of those areas where, unfortunately, you can't really rely on consensus, and often going to medical professionals is just not helpful. Not to say that Stuart McGill is some amazing person and his book is amazing. I definitely have some criticisms of his newer book, just in terms of the way it's written. I remember one example he gave of like someone playing video games, and he was just very, just very rude about the pastime, which, I'm biased. I like video games, but like, I understand they encourage you to just sit on your ass and do nothing. And often when I have problems, it's because I've been playing too many video games. So I get it, but it was just very dismissive and kind of shitty. Do you know what I mean? Just like, get rid of your hobby. It's like, that's, maybe there's a nicer way to say that. Maybe they can do their hobby a little bit less and walk more, right? And then also, it's not very female friendly, or really mom friendly is what I'll say. And not necessarily mom. I mean, fathers as well. In terms of the walking, you're supposed to, again, it's brisk walking, and you're supposed to move your arms, right, with your body. That's part of the therapeutic benefit of walking. But if you have kids and a stroller, which I did at the time reading this book, my little one was still in a stroller, you can't really do that. You gotta push the stroller, and there's just like no mention of that whatsoever. So it was very like, clearly a man wrote this. If you didn't know a man wrote this, clearly a man wrote this. I'm sure it didn't even cross his mind, like, people might have to walk with a stroller, but okay. And that's the other thing I forgot to say, why I wanted to make this video. These are all things that are like safe to do. Walking. Everyone should walk, right? Not necessarily the 10,000 steps a day or whatever. There's no real evidence for that, but it seems to be like at least 8,000 or so a day, somewhere around there. Seems to be really good, like, for all of us, right? Again, these sorts of exercises, bird dog is like a really safe exercise. I don't think anyone's ever injured themselves doing bird dog. And a lot of us just can't make it to a doctor. We can't afford physical therapy, which is very expensive if you don't have insurance, or you have insurance, but it's not covered until you reach your deductible, which is thousands of dollars. So yeah, this is something that you can literally do for free. You can start walking for free. All of these exercises you can do without any equipment. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I didn't cry or anything. I'm cured. It's gotten to the point now where this is just normal for me. So I don't know. It's not as emotional for me anymore. Not living with chronic pain anymore. It's just, I don't know. I'm just happy about it. I don't feel the need to cry about it. So that's nice. But yeah, I hope you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you did, like the video if you did, of course. You can support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. I have shirts as well. I actually have this shirt as well. Yeah, and I'll have a new video hopefully soon. Shorts. How do you guys feel about the YouTube Shorts? It's YouTube's answer to TikTok. I've played around with it a little bit. Well, I tried to make one, but it didn't become a short because I don't know why. I didn't have the create a short feature yet in my thing. Like my personal channel had it, but Unnatural Vegan did not have it, which was super funny. This was like 3 days ago. And so I just made a little what I ate today, 1 minute what I ate today just on my desktop. But that didn't become a short. I don't know why. I don't know how it works. But then like the next day I got the create a short button. It was like, woo woo. So I tried it today after going shopping. I just made a quick little, here's what's in my fridge video, which was kind of fun. I like doing it. Yeah, but I want to know if you guys like it. I don't think they notify you about shorts. What is it? Unless you've shown interest in shorts, whatever that means. So if you're watching a lot of shorts, then they'll let you know when I post a short. Because that's the thing I'm worried about. I don't want you guys to be inundated with these short little videos, not that I'm going to be doing one every day or anything. And then the other thing is like, it's not monetizable, right? I mean, I guess the point of them is for it to get a lot of views, and then maybe you'll get more subscribers, and then they'll actually watch your regular videos that are, monetized. But I seriously doubt that's how that works for a lot of people. I would be very surprised if it actually translates into, regular viewers. But it is a cool new little thing that I thought I'd try. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you have any ideas for shorts. Because like the only thing I can think of is like what I ate today's. And again, like the fridge thing. Because most of my video, I can't do a detailed critique of something in 59 seconds. Now I just get injured everywhere else. It sucks. I'm seriously, oh gosh, I have such a love-hate relationship with working out. I love working out and lifting weights and all of that, but I am just so prone to injury. It's not my back anymore, but it's my elbow, or it's my knee, or it's just something random. My quad feels like, did I pull something? What is that? Oh, that doesn't feel right. I just feel like I'm constantly babying some part of my body that's injured from a previous workout. I think back to when I wasn't exercising at all. Well, even when we were in the apartment, I didn't exercise much at all, I don't think. And I was like never injured. My back was, but anything else was basically fine. So I kind of go back and forth. Like maybe I should just stick to walking, just walk. That's like the most important thing anyway. Like, okay, I'm not doing strength training, or, maybe I'll do a little bit. I'll do some push-ups or something. Try to do pull-ups again. God, when was the last time I could actually do a full pull-up? To be fair, I was much lighter when I did pull-ups, so